Ferran Torres had not scored in 5 matches. Nobody was talking about him. Nobody was building documentaries around his journey or tracking his expected goals or debating his place in the starting 11. He was the forgotten man in a squad full of players the world could not stop watching. And then in the 106th minute of the World Cup final, he swung his boot at a cross from Nico Williams and changed everything. Spain are world champions, again, for the first time since 2010. And the way they won it, the manner of it, the controversy inside it, and the figure they left broken on the other side of it will be discussed for as long as football is played. Let us talk about what actually happened in New Jersey. Argentina came into this final as defending champions, chasing something only 2 nations in history had ever achieved. Back-to-back World Cup titles. They had survived everything this tournament threw at them. Cape Verde in extra time. Egypt from 2 goals down with 11 minutes left, the most extraordinary comeback in World Cup knockout history. Switzerland in extra time again. England in the semi-final, trailing with 7 minutes left before 2 Messi assists turned it around in the cruelest possible way for 60 years of English hurt. Every time the door was closing, Argentina found a hand to hold it open. Spain came in having not lost a single match, having conceded 1 goal in the entire tournament. 1. Across 7 matches against 47 competing nations, they had been so suffocating, so relentlessly organized, so technically precise in every phase of play that opposing managers had started running out of vocabulary to describe what it felt like to play against them. From the opening whistle, the final told you exactly which team was which. Spain took the ball and did not give it back. Lamine Yamal was into the match inside 4 minutes, forcing Emiliano Martínez into an early save that served as an immediate statement of intent. Pedri controlled the tempo from deep. Dani Olmo found pockets of space between Argentina's lines that the defensive block could not close without leaving something else open. The possession was not just quantity. It had direction and purpose, and a clarity of destination that made it genuinely suffocating to watch from the Argentina perspective. Messi had 15 touches in the entire first half. Argentina had 0 shots, 0 touches in the Spanish penalty area. In 45 minutes of a World Cup final, the greatest player in the history of the sport was reduced to a spectator in his own match by a defensive and pressing structure that had been built specifically and deliberately to make exactly that happen. Argentina's one moment came in the 5th minute. Álvarez threading a ball through for Messi with only the goalkeeper to beat. Simon read it, rushed from his line, got there first. The chance was gone. Argentina would not get another one that clean. Then halftime arrived, and the World Cup final became something it had never been in 96 years of history. A full production halftime show, 25 minutes of global entertainment, Shakira performing the tournament anthem, Justin Bieber, BTS, Coldplay's Chris Martin, backed by an orchestra and a choir from Staten Island. Pyrotechnics, the complete American sporting spectacle inserted directly into the middle of the world's most watched football match. The football world divided instantly and has not fully reunited since. One side saw a global celebration expanding the sport's reach beyond any previous boundary. The other side saw a concert interrupting a final and making the world's greatest players stand in a tunnel for half an hour while their rhythm and their body temperature and their momentum all drifted away. In the stands alongside FIFA's president sat the President of the United States. When the screens found him, the stadium booed with a volume that was impossible to miss and impossible to explain away as a small minority. Football and politics sharing a stage, whether either of them wanted to. The second half brought the frustration that the first half's suffocation had been building toward. Paredes shoved Rodri from behind, away from the ball. Both benches emptied. Players from both sides converged in the way that pushes in World Cup finals always produce. A cluster of bodies and raised voices and officials trying to restore something resembling calm. Paredes was booked. The temperature of the final changed completely. And then came the controversy that generated its own separate argument inside the argument. Marc Cucurella was caught on camera covering his mouth while apparently speaking toward Messi during the confrontation. This World Cup had introduced a specific rule: cover your mouth during a confrontation, and a referee has the authority to produce a red card. The rule had already been applied during the tournament. Cucurella covering his mouth was on every broadcast within minutes. The card never came. The fury that produced fed directly into weeks of existing narrative about officiating at this tournament, now redirected toward a different team but producing the same heat. And then Enzo Fernández made the decision that decided the World Cup. He had been booked in the 82nd minute. One yellow card in a World Cup final should function as a full stop on reckless challenges. Deep into stoppage time with the clock at 93 minutes, he arrived late and out of control through Pau Cubarsí and sent the teenager into the air. The referee did not hesitate. Second yellow, red card. Fernandez was off. Former officials watching on broadcast called it correct immediately. It was correct. A catastrophically rash challenge at the single worst moment. Correct and devastating and irreversible. Argentina now had to survive 30 minutes of extra time against the best pressing team in the world with 10 men. They could not survive it. 106th minute. Spain moved the ball wide to Nico Williams. His cross reached the near post at pace. Ferran Torres, the man nobody had been watching, the striker who had spent 5 weeks being denied and saved and ruled offside, arrived exactly on time and drove it past Martinez. Spain led, Spain won. Torres almost scored a second moments later before the flag correctly ruled it out for offside. It did not matter. The result was settled. Martinez made 11 saves in the final. 11. A World Cup final record that will stand until someone has reason to break it. He was the best player on the pitch by any objective measurement, and he still lost because Argentina had 0 shots on target in 120 minutes and 1 fewer player for the final 30. All that brilliance absorbed by the turf in New Jersey without a trophy to show for it. And Messi, 15 first-half touches, 1 chance snuffed out by a goalkeeper in the 5th minute, a late free kick that curled wide, flashes of the genius pressing against a wall that refused to move, Spanish players throwing bodies in front of everything, one of them leaving the pitch after blocking a Messi attempt with his own face. That was what it cost Spain to erase him, and they paid it willingly every single time. Is that the last time he wears an Argentina shirt? Nobody knows. He has retired from international football before and come back. He has said nothing. But if that was the ending, it was a brutal one. The greatest career the sport has produced, closing not with a second trophy, but with a defeat so total and so complete that Argentina managed 2 shots across 120 minutes against the team that was always going to be the hardest team in the world to score against. Spain are worthy champions, completely and deservedly. An unbeaten tournament. 1 goal conceded across the entire competition. A final in which they were so dominant that only a goalkeeper having the match of his life kept the scoreline close enough to feel like a contest. Ferran Torres put the ball in the net. But this victory belonged to a system, a philosophy, and a 19-year-old named Yamal who arrived at this tournament as a prospect and left it as a world champion. The torch did not pass gently on that pitch in New Jersey. It was taken. Was Spain a worthy champion, or did the red card hand them the World Cup? Was this the last night of the greatest career football has ever seen? Drop your answer in the comments. Subscribe if you want to keep talking about the moments that matter. I read everyone.